But we have now the Egyptian Finance Minister on the phone from Cairo. Samir Radwan, thank you so much for joining us. We're just hearing some breaking news from the news agency, the Egyptian news agency, MENA, that the Egypt's military council held important meetings and they're about to issue a statement. What is the likely outcome of this?
Well, I actually don't know what is the, because I'm not privy to the meeting, obviously, of the military council. But so far, you know, what the army has been doing, it has been behaving in the best possible way, protecting the young people in Tahrir Square and elsewhere, ensuring the smooth flow of foodstuffs and commodities and provisions throughout the country, protecting the Suez Canal and so on. So,
Mr. Radwan,
what? Yes.
That we understand, but at the same time, we are expecting some very large protests today. Are you concerned that they will turn violent? And if they do, does that mean that we should postpone the opening of the stock exchange on Sunday?
Well, I'm concerned, obviously. I sincerely hope that the movement, the protest movement, continues to be relatively peaceful, as it has done in the past, in which case we can be able to, everything is set to open the stock exchange on Sunday, everything. But of course, what happens today is very crucial for that decision.
Are you concerned that yields will rise further, putting further pressure, financial pressure on your country?
Yes, of course. That's quite obvious. I mean, the economy so far, we have managed so far to steer a very reasonable way in the country. All our obligations are met on time and so on. But if the situation continues for much longer, then we are in a much more difficult situation.
But Mr. Radwan, I wonder, you say that for the moment everything's in place to reopen the stock market on Sunday, but we're still in the midst of a lot of unrest. There's still a lot of political instability. People are angry in the streets. Do you not worry about capital outflows if the situation remains as it is after Mubarak said that he won't step down?
Of course I am. Of course I am. But when we reopen the banking system, many people were afraid of the same thing, and you know, we were able to cope with this situation. The central bank was able to cope with the situation. Of course, the stock exchange is a different ball game altogether. I'm concerned of a very sudden shock, but I think many precautions have been taken to open the stock exchange on Sunday.
Mr. Radwan, what is your piece of advice? Do you speak to Mr. Mubarak on a daily basis? What would you tell him to do? What would you advise him to do at this point?
No, I don't. I speak to the Prime Minister almost on a daily basis. And that is the maximum I could go.
But do you think that Mr. Mubarak should be leaving sooner rather than later?
Well, you see, his perception is that he started a process of responding to the fair and legitimate demands of the young people of Egypt. And that process started by changing the government, having a vice president, bringing those who dealt with the demonstrators in a bad way to justice. Today, I think they are being brought to justice. And then finally handing over almost all his powers to his vice president. So he thinks that he is doing what he could in order to ensure a smooth transition to a democratic system.
Mr. Rad, the central bank has also intervened on the foreign exchange markets to try and stabilize the pound a little bit. Do you believe they'll have to do so in the next couple of days?
Let's wait and see Sunday. But the central bank governor is ready, stands ready to take the necessary measures to keep the Egyptian pound.
Samir Radwan, the Finance Minister of Egypt, thank you so much for joining us today.